I'm Gaston with Rough Country. Today we're going to be installing our MLC-6 multiple light controller on this 2020 Wrangler JL. So this JL did not come with the factory aux switches in the lower dash, and it's for that reason we chose to go with our lower dash mount MLC-6. It's really going to complement the interior and put the switches right within driver's reach. So this MLC-6 is going to be controlling the 2-inch flush mount pods, the 20-inch single row in the front bumper, as well as 2 pods we add to the lower windshield mount. I've already got the wires ran up from the bumper LEDs. This is what we're getting rid of using the MLC-6. So let's get rid of it. You're gonna trace your harness This is terrible. All right. So you're going to trace your harness to the point where the wires from the light go into the relay. And we're going to cut those there. And that'll give us the red and black wire coming directly from the LED light. That's all we need to connect to the MLC-6. So we'll get rid of that. We'll do the same on the 2-inch light pods. And we no longer need this in the engine compartment. Yeet. As the kids say. Our first step is going to be to mount our control box, and for that we're going to remove these 2 factory bolts. And we're going to mount the control box using those same 2 bolts. Now I'm going to remove the lid and get ready to run the power and the ground from the battery on the passenger side over the cowl to the control unit. So I've got the power and the ground leads connected to the control box. I've also got them routed across the cowl over to the battery. We won't hook those up. That'll be the last thing we do on this install. There's an access grommet in the firewall just to the driver's side of the brake booster. Give it a twist and pull it out. And we're going to drill a 3/4 inch hole in this so we can run our main harness through. It also comes with a grommet to seal it from the elements. So our main harness is through the firewall grommet and has its own grommet in the grommet for grommeting the grommet. Now we're going to take the controller end and slide it through the firewall . Now that we've got the main harness ran through the firewall at the grommet, we'll run that harness across the bottom of the dash to the lower portion where we're going to install the switch panel, making sure to avoid any moving parts such as pedals or steering components. The first step in that is going to be to remove this trim panel. It just pops out. You'll grab it and give it a tug. In the lower corners, this corner up here, and then this one always gives me an issue. There you go. So here's our harness. We've routed through the firewall and up and over, and now we're just going to feed it into this section after I remove this panel and this panel. So this upper panel is only held in by clips. We will go ahead and pull that out like so. Then we're going to unplug the HVAC controls and just move it out of the way, like so. This lower panel has 1 Phillips head screw. We'll go ahead and take that out. Put it in the cup holder for safekeeping, and then it also is just held in with clips. So go to pull. Now it is going to have to come all the way out so we can mount our panel. So we'll start unplugging. We've got data port. All right, so I've got it around here where you can see. We're going to go ahead and remove this gray plug. This is locked, so you'll pull this tab out, then push down here, give it a tug, and finally you're going to squeeze the 12 volt, pull it out. Now we can take this over to the workstation and remove this pocket and replace it with the Rough Country MLC-6 switch panel. But before we do that, I'm going to set this down and go ahead and finish routing our main harness. So it's over here under this kick panel. We'll feed it through, up and around, and there's the plug. So I'm going to feed out as much as I think I need, and then this access will get zip tied and tucked up and out of the way. All right, we're back over at the workstation. Got the lower dash unit here. We're going to go ahead and take out these factory bolts, remove this pocket, and replace it with the switch panel from the MLC-6. Now that we've got the switch panel installed in the lower dash, we'll go ahead and put it back in the JL and get everything buttoned up. That's for the HVAC. Got a screw to add to that. Now we'll take this top panel, go ahead and plug the HVAC back in, line everything up. Little that concludes the interior portion of the MLC-6 build. Now we'll go under the hood and wire lights up. So I've got the wiring routed from the DRL pods down through the cowl and over to the control unit. What I'm going to do is connect them so we can run them together. So when we turn one switch on, both pods light up. On this, black is ground, blue is your LED floodlight, and white is your amber daytime running light. We're going to use two separate channels on the MLC-6, one to turn on the flood and one to turn on the daytime running light. Twist the light colors together. So white to white, then I'll add a connector. Crimp it. That will go under and into channel where the screw is. I'll do that 3 more times on this, and then we will connect the pods from the bumper and the 20-inch light bar. So I've got the 2 leads from the pods and the bumper ran up to the control box on the MLC-6. I'm going to go ahead and add a shrink wrap tube. This is supplied with the MLC-6. I'll pull the sheath back a little bit, add the shrink wrap, just clean it up, make it look like a really nice install, which it is. So shrink wrap will go, shrink tube will go on over that, and I'll pull the sheath back a little more and give myself plenty of wire when I crimp. And then you can use a heat gun or go inside and borrow someone's lighter because you don't smoke. It just finishes off that wiring, makes it look a lot nicer. Now we will pull it out of the shrink wrap and ruin it. Now we'll add our connectors so we can install it into the MLC-6. Now that I've got the terminals mounted to the pairs of wires coming from the bumper pods, I'll go ahead and feed those through the slots at the bottom of the MLC-6, up and out of the way so I can see what I'm working with here. And we're going to come over to channel 3 and install those. We've got ground and power. So I'll loosen it. You don't have to take them all the way off, just loosen. Ground, power. We'll install ground, still, ground, or earth if you're across the pond, and power. Pull the wire back out of the way. And that's the gasket. Good. And then we'll do the same for the 20-inch single row light bar. And these are the leads to our 20-inch single row. We're gonna do the same process for those. Add the shrink wrap to finish off the sheathing. We'll strip these 2 wires back, add the terminals, and put the 20-inch light bar on channel 4 of the MLC-6. And then we'll add the terminals. With the negative and the positive from the single row 20-inch light bar ran through the bottom of the MLC-6. All it's left to do is to attach it to the negative and the positive on channel 4. And that completes the installation of the 20-inch light bar to the MLC-6. Now we're at the battery. We've already ran the ground and the power leads, so let's get them connected. After that, the last thing we'll do will be to start the vehicle to activate the voltage protection on the MLC-6, and we'll be good to go. Sparks. With everything hooked up, I'm going to go ahead and put the protective top on the MLC-6. Now I'll start the Jeep. That's going to activate the low voltage protection in the unit. So that concludes the installation of the MLC-6 lower dash unit on the JL Wrangler. Let's turn them all on and give them the beans.